Hello everyone, it's Guardian Mo's back online. So it's VE Day, and I'm just pre-recording this video the night before, just to highlight some of Nigel Farage's comments he made on a GB News video that I saw on X. And Dan Wootton has covered this as well with his analysis. So a couple of GB News presenters, they were covering the processions during the VE Day celebrations. And they dedicated a small little segment to bring in Nigel Farage into the spotlight to talk about the surge in popularity that Reform have made, the success that they've had recently, and just talk about the local elections as well. And I'll show you the video just so you can make of it what you will and analyse it in your own time.
With all of the furore around Rupert Lowe, people were saying, this is it, this is going to be, this isn't just a dent in the Reform Party, this is going to destroy the Reform Party. And over the weekend, people were saying, Rupert who? Yeah. It doesn't appear to have made any sort of impact, despite the best efforts of Andrew Pearce with his journalistic expertise.
Even though I work here, I'm going to be critical of GB News. GB News covered this story obsessively, as if it was some huge story.
It's all his fault.
And it was never a huge story. It was one person who had increasingly been heading in a different direction from us.
Your chairman made it a big story by calling in the police.
Well, he did do that.
Do you think that was a good idea? Nigel Farage, I'm going to challenge you.
I'll pass on that.
There we are.
I'll pass on that.
It was a bizarre decision, Pazir Yusuf, to call in the police.
But, you know, it was only ever going to be one person. And the upshot of this, what it really tells you is that X is not the real world.
Yeah. Correct. You know, Twitter as it was
Twitter as it was is not the real world. So, yeah, you know, when you get problems in life, the best thing is to confront them.
Would you have him back now in the party, Rupert Lowe, after all of this? Ben Habib, is there a way back for Ben?
Over my dead body.
Well, he wrote a piece saying you didn't deserve your victory. Did you see it?
I mean, I'm sorry, you get these small, very insignificant people who
say what you think, Nigel.
Who think they're more important than they are. They're frankly nothings. There you are.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, I don't mind people sounding off. I don't mind people disagreeing with me. I never have done. As long as there's some fundamental underlying loyalty. And that's the one thing I demand.
Yeah. You just kept the ship steady, it seemed, as an observer, when all the headlines were about Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib and whether this was a split in the political right. You just kept your hand on the tiller, it seemed, and you just carried on in that direction towards those local council elections where you've swept the board by any definition and that by-election. Were you confident, Nigel, all the time throughout that process that it was going to go that way?
Of course. Well, I was confident that Rupert Lowe and the alt-right Tommy Robinson supporters on X, you know, weren't much of a benefit to us. I was confident about that. I was confident it was the right thing to do. You know, I knew it would dent us in the short term, but no more than dent us. But, you know, I mean, look at the image of the party now.
Was it appropriate for Zia to report Rupert Lowe to the police to investigate him on alleged instances of physical violence? And the response that Farage gave, I thought was very cowardly. I'm completely disappointed with a lot of the comments that he's made. Utterly appalling. Will you consider bringing Rupert Lowe back into the party? He says, I don't think so. What about Ben Habib? Over my dead body. Okay, over my dead body. Is that the way to respond to a question like that? He also proceeds to call them small, insignificant individuals. So you brought Rupert Lowe in as an MP, being a small, insignificant individual. He sat in the Houses of Parliament alongside you, asked challenging questions to the Speaker, challenging the Tory and Labour Party. Then you cast him aside, kick him out of the party, pretend like he never existed, never made any contributions to the party, and was dividing the narrative of the Reform Party. And now you've got that Sarah Puccini. She's an MP apparently. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, that ex-Tory supports refugees. She attended one of those transgender events in the past. You've got, what else? A Bangladeshi nationalist as a candidate. One of your members supports slavery reparations. I mean, the list just goes on. There's too many red flags. Too many alarm bells ringing, left, right and centre. He commented on Tommy Robinson, continues to slag him off, and he painted some of Tommy Robinson's supporters as alt-right individuals. So some of them are alt-right, apparently. Those hundreds of thousands of people who attended the Tommy Robinson rallies, people like you and me, apparently we're alt-right now. We're white supremacists. I just simply can't stand behind this. This is ridiculous. Absolutely appalling. Calling them small, insignificant individuals. Will you bring back Ben Habib? Over my dead body. Just think about that, guys. If you're still on the reform bandwagon, you're watching this video, you still support reform, I am telling you, from top to bottom, just you can see through the reform leadership. Something just doesn't smell right with the way that they're doing things, with the way that that Nigel Farage is flip-flopping on every promise and policy that he's been announcing. Mass deportations, doesn't want to do it. Political impossibility. Can't politically alienate the Muslim community. He's flip-flopped on everything that he said. He says one thing, and he says another 10 seconds later. He changes his policies with the same direction the wind is going. We can't have a political figure like that. We can't have the next Prime Minister to be like that. We need him to stand firm on what he believes in. If you're going to kick out the Labour Party, then you've got to replace it with something of substance, something that people can care about and get behind. But for me, reform are a no-go. We have to take down reform, or reform has to take down itself. It's as simple as that. There is no way in hell that I'm going to be voting reform anymore. You want me to vote for reform? You want me to continue to support reform? Over my dead body. God, most clocking out.